Hello friends, and welcome to another East German military gear video. This time we have a bit of a rarer type of magazine pouch, and of course if you have seen the Soviet equivalent of this pouch, then you will probably recognize this as the magazine and, well, sort of general pouch for the equipment for the SVD Dragunov sniper rifle, or maybe more correctly a marksman's rifle, since that was the more for the role of the soldier who was given the training for the Dragunov to extend the range of the rifle squad. And also going to talk about how the SVD Dragunov was used in the East German military, but first maybe just let's get through the pouch itself. So this is a bit different in construction than the general East German magazine pouches, say for the AK rifles, in that this is this green rubber PVC fabric mostly, and then these gray cotton nylon mix, I think, fabric straps that then attach to these knobs, and this construction has been copied entirely from the Soviet Dragunov pouch. It's only the materials that have been changed to more East German ones. And sorry if my voice sounds a bit even worse than usual, because it seems I have a bit of a stuffy nose. Let's try to get through with this. This pouch itself is in great condition otherwise, but there's just a bit of discoloration at the bottom. You can see it here in the back more. Otherwise it's completely unused and otherwise mint condition. Yep, so that's the front. This pouch is so big that it's kind of hard to show it to you in the camera, but yeah, here's the back, and we just have two belt loops here for the standard East German belt here. Bit oversized actually, but yeah, well, that's probably enough of that. And there isn't any documentation or official pictures of this pouch in use. I will go to that a bit more in a moment, but you would presume that this pouch would be worn on the right on the belt in place of your usual magazine pouch. And no suspender rings or anything in here, so that would make me suspect that this is quite a late production pouch, maybe from well, mid 80s maybe. It's not UTV since it's gray material here, so maybe early or mid 1980s I would suspect. There are unfortunately no stamps, and the construction overall is a bit you can see this piece of strap is like completely off center, like it's more to the right. I think it feels like this is being built in quite a hurry, and or not in a very like quality in mind. But yeah, here on the bottom we have just two pouches for magazines, nothing more to it really. But here on the top we have two pouches for magazines, and then this flap here is like just one piece, and then to the inside. So trying to figure out how to film this. So on the flap itself, trying to get to focus, there we go, we have two small pockets for, I presume, some sort of tools for maintaining your Dragunov rifle. And we have the two of the 4 magazine pouches here. Suppose you'll be issued 4 magazines. And then this inside compartment here is for the scope, the PSO1 scope, and also for some more tools. So there is a tool pouch here. here and a very long one here on the right side of the pouch itself. And I believe this is for the cleaning tool, since you can see on the back here that it's been sewn on almost the bottom of the pocket. So, and then this I presume is for the, I will get some light in here, it's quite a challenge. There is I'll try to spread it a bit, you can just see it, but there is like this holder at the bottom for the end of the PSO1 scope. Maybe you can just see it there at the very bottom, but yeah, you would stick your scope with the end going first and you would fit in that slot inside the pouch. And I believe there was like this protector for the scope itself, made from similar PVC rubber material. And yeah, as I said, there are unfortunately no stamps or anything on this, but based on the materials, like this gray webbing material is very typical of East Germany. And maybe the most distinct thing is that this has the horrible chemical stench of East German gear that you have certainly come by if you have collected just tiny, even a few pieces of East German field gear. Like it smells awful. Maybe it's some kind of moth poison or something, but not quite sure. Yeah, just to give you an idea how big this thing is. Here is your usual AK-47 pouch, so maybe that gives you more idea. Yeah, it's like a third longer and much, well, a bit wider, and yeah, this would almost, well, not quite knee length if it's on your belt, but yeah, very long pouch compared to this AK-47 one. It's getting very nitpicky detail, but the material on this is actually a tiny bit different. Like this is more of a plasticky nylon thing, whereas this SVD pouch has more of a cotton feel to it, and these loops. And but sewing is very much the same pattern, so you have like the X in a square pattern. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if these were made in the same factory that made all the other magazine pouches. There are also pouches made of this similar construction that are meant for the RPG-7 munitions, and I think there are also some for different types of tools and such. But yeah, maybe the RPG-7 munition pouches are the most common ones you see in this material. This SVD pouch is quite rare in that, or at least they haven't appeared on the market. I got this one from a Dutch militaria store called Militaria for You about 12 years ago, and it cost maybe 10 to 20 euros back then, and I just thought it looked cool and interesting, and I grabbed one. I had no really intention of using this or anything, but just it seemed cool and interesting, and so I grabbed one. And I'm quite glad I did, since yeah, these appear to be quite rare. And now we can actually discuss a bit why that is, and in general how the SVD Dragunov was used in East German military. So the Dragunovs that the East Germans got were of course all Soviet manufacture. East Germans didn't make them themselves. And this heavy book. This book, the NVA Land, Luft- und Seestreitkräfte, on page 43 there is a table of different firearms that the NVA possessed in 1990. They had actually collected all the firearms from different branches, so from Grenztruppen and Stasi units and all the other branches that had firearms in East Germany. And altogether there were 1,749 SVD Dragunovs in East Germany in 1990 when it came to an end. And just to give you an idea, there were almost 1 million of different Kalashnikov type rifles, so yeah, there weren't so many SVD Dragunovs. And the Dragunov itself was just referred to as the SVD with the W instead of the normal V because of the German way of writing the Russian word of Wintowka. And also in the book, this book, it's referred to as the SSGD, so that would be Scharfschützengewehr Dragunov. The table also states that the rifle would be issued with 100 rounds, so I guess 40 rounds would be in the magazines, in the pouch, and then 60 rounds somewhere. And there is very little information how this Dragunov rifle was used in the motorized infantry of East Germany. That was the biggest branch of East German military, and you would suppose that most of the rifles went there. In general, in Warsaw-Pact countries, the Dragunov rifles were transported in vehicles such as the BMP infantry fighting vehicles, and you would grab your Dragunov rifle when it was needed in special situations, but otherwise it stayed in the vehicle. And it's probably why we don't see this pouch or Dragunov itself in use much at all in East German pictures or whatever. I will now show you just a couple of pictures that I have found. There is one picture that I didn't find in the internet, but it's available in this book, Die DDR NVA by Copenhagen. It's on page 60 and 62. You have a couple of pictures of the Dragunov. I have 2 editions of the Handbook for Motorized Infantry, Handbuch für Mordschützen. This is the 2nd edition from 1966, and this is the 3rd edition, was it, from 1984. And neither of these have any information about the Dragunov or how it will be used in motorized infantry groups, so I would presume then that there was some specific document for Dragunov in East German military. Let's see if I can... Oh, here are the weapons parts of the book, and there you have RPK, AKM, Makarov, of course, RPG-7, and then it goes to basically vehicle armaments. So yeah, definitely quite a specialized weapon the Dragunov was in East German military. However, it was maybe perhaps a bit more common in the paratroopers, Fallschirmjäger, since in this book, Von Himmel auf die Erde ins Gefecht, the paratroopers of East German People's Army, there are tables that state that Dragunov would be issued to every gruppe in the paratroopers, so that would be a 10-man squad. Though this book itself has 0 pictures of the paratroopers themselves using Dragunov. The table also states that there are 18 rifles per battalion, so yeah, that would make the Dragunov well more common in the paratroopers. Sort of makes sense, since the paratroopers probably would be tasked with eliminating high value targets behind enemy lines, and Dragunov probably would be more useful for that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have been able to gather from how the Dragunov rifle was used in East Germany, and yeah, how it was probably issued with, or the items associated with it were issued. Of course, you would presume that when the Soviets sent the rifles to East Germany, they would have sent magazine pouches as well. So perhaps, this is just my speculation, but perhaps these pouches were made to replace the Soviet pouches, which I believe were made of cotton fabric and leather, and maybe after a couple of decades of use that those materials just get worn out, and so they made replacement pouches for the few Dragunovs in East Germany. And as a Finnish person, it makes me wonder, because the Finnish military, after the German unification, we bought a lot of material from the ex-East German stockpiles, including plenty of vehicles, BMPs, 2S1 howitzers, and those vehicles were usually provided fully equipped, so that included also the personal weapons and, well, weapons that were transported in the vehicles. And as I said, the Dragunov was mostly transported inside the vehicle and to be used in special circumstances. And the Finnish military does have some Dragunovs. Some of them came through Soviet vehicles, but I wonder if some Dragunovs actually came from the East German vehicles. So maybe in some dark Finnish bunker there are a couple of these pouches just waiting for the doomsday that everything has to be issued out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.